Good evening, everybody. David Paul in the KHOU Channel 11 Weather Center here in Houston, Texas. This is your Atlantic Tropical Update for Thursday evening, October the 7th. There's only one spot out there we're watching. It's this wave off the East Coast. It may bring some rain to the Carolinas, Virginias, and to the Appalachian chain. But we're also going to take a look at the weather pattern and how it's going to evolve over the next week across North America. Rainy southeast coast because of that system brewing out there off the Carolinas. First heavy snowfall of the season is on the way for the Rockies. That's coming in early next week. We'll take a look at that. And then windy, rainy, chilly for the Pacific Northwest. Oh, man. Full-blown winter-like weather will take shape across the Pac Northwest here over the next week. Tropics first, and if we're going to get development this time of the year, October, quite often it is West Carib, Gulf, East Coast. A lot of this influenced by the warm Gulf Stream that flows in that part of the Caribbean Gulf and up the East Coast. There it is. And so we have a spot trying to fester right in there this evening, but it's having trouble getting going. It is being sheared. First of all, Caribbean, Gulf, Western Atlantic, overall quiet. And what I like to see is nothing brewing here in the Caribbean or the Gulf. There is a history of October hurricanes across the Caribbean and the Gulf, but at the moment, nothing brewing, and computer models are very subdued as far as anything trying to brew down here over the next 5 days, so that's good. This spot off the coast of the Carolinas has increased as far as its chances of getting going and getting a developed system. 20% chance in 2 days, 30% chance within the next 5 days, so it's a little better organized than it was yesterday. If we look at the rest of the Atlantic, I mean, we've got a little wave about to come off the west coast of Africa. There's a wave out here over the eastern Atlantic, but there's nothing showing any signs of tropical development, and the computers are not developing any of these systems out here. And what's left of Sam is now swirling up there toward Iceland. Okay, close to the east coast of the U.S., this is our little spot. It's trying to close off a low, and in fact, a closer look at the wind stream lines does show that indeed we've got a closed low. However, it's completely exposed. So we've got winds that have just finally wrapped all the way around a little center of low pressure here. But pressures are not dropping significantly here. And you can see there's no rain or thunderstorms over that low-level swirl. It's all been raced off to the east. So the system is very poorly organized. And in fact, you can see that on visible. This is a 12-hour loop. This goes back to earlier this morning, then we go into sunset in the evening. But right in here, yeah, there's a little, you can see a little exposed, well, it's even hard to see this, but there is a little exposed swirl right there. But look at how all the convection is blown off to the north and east, and that is because of the winds at the upper levels. And you can see them here, 250 millibar winds up at about 34,000 feet. You know, our little swirl is here, but it's completely exposed at the surface as the upper level winds have really increased in intensity today, and they've just blown everything off to the east. The system is not going to develop any type of deep tropical characteristics under this type of upper level wind shear regime, and that is forecast to stay like that for the next couple of days. To get a developing system, you've got to have it vertically stacked right on top of itself, with the center down near the surface of the ocean, and then the center up top right over it, vertically stacked. But when you've got wind shear like this, where it's the wind's cutting across the system, not only is it tilting it, but you saw in the case of this one, it's literally just blowing the top completely off any type of low-level center that can form down there. So it is becoming unlikely that anything of significance is going to form here. That being said, we've got a low-level swirl, and the Euro and the GFS both pick up on that, but they keep it relatively exposed. So computer models, we go into Saturday, yeah, both have a little swirl out here. However, that wind shear is going to stay put over the top of this system, so I don't think anything of any significance is going to form here. And then what there is of these lows, both models now bring it into North Carolina near the Outer Banks as we head into Monday, but not as a powerful tropical system, just as a low-level swirl. And if you've got a low-level swirl here, well, under that type of regime with the upper-level winds, where's all the rain probably going to be? It's probably going to be out over the open water of the Atlantic Ocean. We go further out in time, and what little low there is moves in toward Raleigh and peters out as we head into Tuesday. All that being said, you know, rainfall potential next 5 days. So if we've got our little swirl here and it meanders up toward the Outer Banks and comes in here, all the rain associated with that system is over the open Atlantic Ocean and not associated with the center of that swirl. That's exactly what you would expect to see when you've got a low-level swirl and all the convection being blown off to the east by the upper-level winds. Some of you may be looking near Atlanta. You've got some rain possibilities here next 5 days, 1 inch to 3 inches in some isolated spots. That's along the spine of the Appalachians. There's a little trough pushing into the Appalachians, which will give you guys in the east and southeast a little better chance for rain over the next 5 days. Computer model rain, you see the rain, most of it with that system off the coast, maybe a few showers near the coast, but it doesn't look like anything of any type of major flood concern for you guys in the Carolinas and the Virginias and the Appalachian mountain chain. That's going into Saturday at 10 a.m. And then our attention shifts to the Pacific Northwest and the North Pacific. So here are the Aleutian Islands, there's Alaska, Vancouver, here's the west coast of the United States, California, Washington, Oregon. Dip in the jet stream. So even going into Saturday, Sunday, that's significant snow near Vancouver and then up into Whistler. The mountains up here could see a foot of snow as we head into Saturday and Sunday. This is going to grab a little bit of cold air out of Canada and bring it into the lower 48. That trough is going to be our first significant snowmaker for the Rocky Mountains of the Intermountain West of the United States. Utah, Wyoming, Montana, western Colorado going into Monday and Monday night into early Tuesday morning. And then take a look. Do you have travel plans going into Tuesday night and the early Wednesday morning? You know, Denver may see 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. That could slow down air travel there. And if you've got a connecting flight, it could slow you down even if you're not in Denver. So we're going to see a significant snow in the Mountain West going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, the first real major snow of the season. And then another jet streak comes off the Pacific and into the Pacific Northwest. I have not lived up here in this part of the country. For you folks up here, Washington, Oregon, Vancouver, British Columbia, I can only imagine this must be, well, some of you may welcome it. It may be depressing for others, but this is going to create that windy, wet, cold Pacific winter-like pattern that's just going to stay put. That's going into next Thursday. That's a week out. And then another trough forms out here going into next Friday, Saturday, Sunday to keep things very unsettled across our Pacific Northwest going into Sunday. That's going all the way 10 days out to the 17th, it being the 7th today, so the 17th. So things getting unsettled out west. Current snowpack, almost zero, but that is going to change over the next several days. We go into Thursday of next week, so 7 days out, and we've got our first significant snow on the ground in the Mountain West. 6 to 12 in most of the mountain areas, but you get up into Wyoming and computers suggest more than a foot of snow is going to fall here. That could be 1 to 2 feet in some spots. Denver could see 3 to 6 inches going into Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning. It's 1 to 2 inches, Spokane, up into the mountains east of Boise. You've got to get east of Portland, east of Seattle into the higher elevations to get any measurable snow out of this system. It should be all liquid for Seattle and Portland, but a cold liquid. And then look at snow totals. That's 2 to 4 feet. Whistler, some of this up here may be 5 feet in some of the higher elevations up here. Vancouver, all the way down to sea level, could see some wet snow as we head into early and middle part of next week. So the first significant snowfall looks like it's on the way. That's where we stand this evening with the tropics and North America. Questions, comments, leave them for me. I read them. We'll see you tomorrow with another update.